Very good evening to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. So today is Tuesday class, 30th September 2025. We will be continuing our sharing from this book, the wonderful Dhamma Lotus Sutra. As usual, we will gather for physical puja. Let us compose our mind, develop the faith, saddha, virya. Then mindfully we shall commence the puja chanting. Namo Pen Si释迦牟尼佛 Namo Pen Si释迦牟尼佛 Namo Pen Si释迦牟尼佛 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 阿弥陀佛 Namo 阿弥陀佛 Namo 阿弥陀佛 Namo 弥勒佛 Namo 弥勒佛 Namo 弥勒佛 Namo 药师佛 Namo 药师佛 Namo 药师佛 Namo 普贤菩萨 Namo 普贤菩萨 普贤菩萨 Namo 地藏王菩萨 Namo 地藏王菩萨 Namo 地藏王菩萨 Namo 佛菩萨 Namo 佛菩萨 Namo 佛菩萨 Arahang Sama Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sanghang Namami Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Buddhang saranang gacchami Dhammang saranang gacchami Sanghang saranang gacchami Dutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami Tatiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Adina dana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami Kamesu miccacara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami Musawada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami Sura meraya majapamadatana Veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami Ganna sarpaditena Dipena tamadangsina Tiloka dipang sambuddhang Pujayami tamonodang Ganda sambara yutena Dopena hang sugang hina Puja ye puja niyantang Puja bhajana muttamang Vanna ganda gunopetang Etang kasuma santatin Pujayami munindasa Siri pada sarorohe Pujemi buddhang kasumena nena Punnena matena cha hotu mokhang Pupang milayati yata idang me Kayo tata yati vinasa bhavang Adivase tu no bante Paniyang parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patigan hatu muttamang Adivase tu no bante Pale parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patigan hatu muttamang Adivase tu no bante Bojanang parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patigan hatu muttamang. Okay, now we will chant our Puja aspiration based on our understanding of the significance of all these Puja offerings. Significance of offering of light. May this offering of light to the Buddha brings forth the causes and conditions to illuminate our mind and help arise the needed clarity and understanding to dispel all darkness or ignorance therein. Significance of offering of water. May this offering of pure, clear, cool water lead us to the pure, clear Dhamma that cools and doses off the fires of all defilements within our mind. Significance of offering of incense. May our morality, virtue and understanding shine forth far and wide, just like the fragrance of this incense which we are offering to the Blessed One, who is perfect in wisdom and virtue. Significance of offering of fruits. May this offering of fruits remind us of the Dana Parami of generosity and the fruit of our karma, so that we will diligently strive on with heedfulness to attain the path and fruition soon as possible. Significance of offering of flowers. May this constant offering of flowers to the Blessed One strengthen our faith and constantly remind us of the impermanence of this body, so that we will diligently and sincerely strive on to cultivate Sila, Samadhi and Panya, leading to ultimate liberation, the born-free Nibbana. Making of overall aspiration. By the power of all these merits born of these offerings, may our spiritual faculty of Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi and Panya be further strengthened until they become balas or powers, sharing and transfer of merits to all beings. May these merits be shared and transferred to all beings without exception, especially to those who have the condition and affinity to receive them. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let us pay respect to Puja. Buddhang pujemi. Dhammang pujemi. Sanghang pujemi. This awareness-based meditation is very useful and very important too. You should develop it so that it can help you to develop the progress along the path of Dhamma. Okay, what we will do is You just have to relax body and mind completely. Then maintain awareness within. Then whatever arises within your 6 sense bases, just aware, finish. Maintain awareness to stabilize the inner awareness. So ability to stabilize this inner awareness is the beginning of progress. Without a stable mindfulness within, or a mind that is ever mindful, you cannot be heedful. So the first 3 support, relax completely body and mind. Don't think, don't try to know, don't try to do. Just relax. Feel yourself soothingly relax. Both body and mind completely relax and without stress, without any problem or issue. Then just silent within. Maintain awareness. Whatever that arises within our 6 sense door, just maintain awareness. Aware, finish. Don't try to continue with the thinking. Don't even develop any emotion or fear or worry or excitement. Just aware, finish. And continuously stabilize this inner awareness. When you start to do this, you will develop the ability to stop thinking or decondition your heedless thinking. And whatever arises, the awareness becomes very clear. And through this training or cultivation, your mindfulness develops the stability, and you can be in a state of awareness, clear, pure awareness, just aware. Then the mind is completely quiet, still, and tranquil. And that is your true mind without thought. You are already aware. And your true mind is just pure awareness within. No verbalization, no chattering, no words, no concept, nothing. No mundane thinking. In fact, the aggregates of mind, they are not active at all. Whenever there is contact between our mind and the sense bases, after receiving the corresponding sense data from outside, it will trigger off the respective sense or consciousness. So whatever arises, aware. It can be a hearing consciousness, smell, taste, tactile, or even thought process. All these are the interplay of our sense consciousness. We are a conscious being. We have the ability to become conscious because of our senses and our consciousness trapped within. Then when the external sense data come in, the 3 upon contact manifest naturally as what we call the respective sense or consciousness. That's why as a human being, we can become conscious of what we hear, what we see, what we smell, what we taste, what we tactily feel and think. And this ability to be conscious is the beginning of self-knowledge, beginning of understanding who we are, what we are, and what is this so-called human being all about. What is this so-called 5 aggregates of form and mind all about? The 2 aspects. First aspect is as a human being. Second aspect as a thought. And through this silent observation of what is, we develop wisdom. Because whatever arises, there are causes and conditions behind. And what are the causes and conditions? They are most of the time arising through the interplay of the six sense bases, six external sense data, and the mind. The mind, which is the mundane conscious moment, is the common denominator for the arising of consciousness. And the moment it arises, if you are mindful and aware, you will be able to see and understand how thought come to be, how the content of consciousness went in, and together with the aggregates of what we call Sanya, Sankara, and Vijnana, it triggers off the mental thought process, or what we term as the second aspect of the five aggregates of form and mind. So this is very important. You have to understand this. When you understand this, then you will understand clearly who are you, what are you, and how you function as a human being. And through this, you will not be deceived and deluded by what happened within the sixth sense door, or what we call the 18th sense right. They are illusionary manifestation. All these are dependent originating phenomena. They exhibit the characteristics of impermanence, leading to suffering when you attach and cling and want things your way. And because they are impermanent, it's not a permanent unchanging entity where you can grasp onto, hold on to, cling on to, and say, this is me, this is I, therefore all this can be mine. Then when this becomes clear, then wisdom arises. Clear understanding arises. If it's not a being, then who is the one thinking? Who is the one perceiving? None. They are all dependent originating phenomena. He know you, he know me. That's why the anatta nature, non-self nature. And that's how Sakayaditi dominates within the thought process, the mundane mind, the egoic mind. And there is severe Sakayaditi, self-delusion. So when you see all this clearly, you comprehend all this clearly, you will awaken. And the moment one awakens, one will understand that all of life, all of existence, they are just moment to moment arising phenomena, arising and passing away, coming and going. But because of the mundane mind, the thought, they cling on to all those phenomena that arise, give meaning, attach, hold. That's how suffering comes to be. So this clinging, grasping, due to Sakayaditi, wanting to know, wanting to experience, wanting to understand and all those things, they create false perception. They create the individual false thinking that manifests through Sakayaditi. That's why from there the egoic mind moves and arise the three evil roots of greed, hatred and delusion. That's how craving arises, anger, hatred arise, fear, worry, anxiety, sorrows, lamentation, insecurity, phobia, etc. They will manifest. through the ego. So awareness-based meditation is to develop the ability to be aware and to see all this and understand all this and awaken from it. Okay, with this, I will let you meditate on your own. Then I will set the alarm for 30 minutes. Okay, you all can slowly, mindfully come out of the meditation. Invocation to Devas. In this universe in the entirety, let the deities and Devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release, Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the chanting. To the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakavalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhammang Muni Rajasa Sunantu Sakamokadang Dhamma Savanam Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Savanam Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Savanam Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Ato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti Peso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Yacharana Sampanno Sugato Lokavido Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Satta Deva Manusanang Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko Ehipasiko Panayiko Pachatang Veditatpo Vinohiti Supatipanno Bhagavato Sakasangho Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Sakasangho Nyayapatipanno Bhagavato Sakasangho Samicipatipanno Bhagavato Kasangho Yadidang Chatari Purisa Yukani Atta Purisa Pugala Esa Bhagavato Sakasangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakineyo Anjali Karaneyo Anuttarang Punyang Ketang Lokasati Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, now we will continue from where we stopped. We are at page 761. Okay, the second contemplation. Contemplation. Oh, here they put sense perception, which is not correct. According to the Theravada tradition, the four foundations of mindfulness. The first foundation is Kayanupassana. Then second foundation is Vedananupassana, which is contemplation on feeling. So the word sense perception here is wrong. So the second part is contemplation of feeling as suffering. The first part they term to limit it to contemplate the body or kaya as impure. That I have explained. Actually, Kayanupassana is more than that. The main purpose and intent of Kayanupassana is to anchor our awareness or mindfulness to all the kaya activity. It can be anapanasati, which is mindfulness of the in and out breath, or the four posture, and all the connecting activity between the four posture. Then after that, we contemplate the body as parts that comes together to perform a function, like the bullock cart analogy. That's how we develop the clear understanding, like the Buddha came to realize. He said, whatever arises, there are causes and conditions behind. So when the causes and conditions behind arise, then phenomena arise. Take for example the bullock cart analogy that the Buddha gave. He told the monks, assemble all the parts so that the causes and conditions arise for it to become a bullock cart. Then arise already. Then after that he say, what do you see? The monks reply, the bhikkhus. He said, bullock cart. How does the concept arise? Because when all these parts comes together and it perform a function, then you give it a name. Then it arises. You call it a bullock cart. After that, the Buddha said, okay, take the parts away. They disassemble the thing. Then he asked, is there still a bullock cart? No more. There are causes and conditions, no more. It cannot perform that function. So our physical body is the same. When they contemplate the 32 parts of the body, the major parts, that created a condition for the physical body to be animated into a human being. So all these are very clear explanation. Then the four elements, also same. Then finally is the 9 stages of cemetery decomposition, where they contemplate the decaying phase. When this physical body is devoid of consciousness, it goes the way of nature. From dust to dust. So everything return. The 4 elements break down. Then through the nature's causes and condition, we call it nature's condition. The manifestation of the 9 stages of cemetery decomposition, which the Buddha called the decaying phase. So, birth, old age, sickness, and death. Death is like the end of life. Then what happens is the physical form that goes the way of nature, it will decay. So that's how it is supposed to be contemplated, developed, and awakened to. And the key aspect of Kayanupassana is to stabilize our mindfulness by anchoring our mind to the Kaya activity. And within the physical body, there is a lot of kaya activity, the physical phenomena, like the breath, all of our movement activity, the four posture, even the blinking of your eye, the stretching, bending, and whatever activity that we do with our physical body. So the four posture of standing, sitting, walking, and lying down are common posture where as a human being we have to transit between them. Then after Kaya Anupassana, now the second part we go to Vedana Anupassana, which is mindfulness of feeling. So here the word sense perception is wrong. But under the old text is correct. They use the word feeling. Anyway, I will read through. The commentary says sense perception includes all your experiences. So this one is true. In fact, not only sense perception, whatever arises upon contact, the universes, 7 universal simultaneously arise. Within it, there is contact, there is feeling. So feeling is a type of what they call emotion. But when you perceive it, it's most of the time through your sense activity, through your conscious activity, means like the consciousness that manifests through seeing, hearing, smell, taste, tactile thing. But within all this contact, there is also feeling. Within every sense basis, there is this feeling. So perception and feeling are different. You perceive first. After you perceive, then the sensation or the feeling that arises after you perceive, actually they arise simultaneously. But initially it's pure feeling. You understand? Pure feeling. Means feeling, just that feeling. It has not become pleasant or unpleasant. There is no craving, positive or negative. Means no sensual desire, no ill will, nothing. It's just pure feeling. But because our conditioning, our brain, our memory, our views, opinion, conditioning and belief system, that it triggers that emotion. And these emotions are mainly positive and negative, like pleasant and unpleasant feeling or emotion. And sometimes it's neutral, neither pleasant or unpleasant. So what happens is, here they mention sense perception include all your experiences, whether positive or negative. And in general, people want to experience pleasurable sensation. By contemplating the sense perception, actually it should be feeling as suffering. You contemplate whatever sensation which is feeling, perception or mind states you have as a form of suffering. In fact, under the Paticca Samuppada, it is the chain movement, dependent originating, that created suffering. And the cause behind is always craving. So upon contact, if you are mindful and aware, with every moment of sense experience, you will see very clearly inside what happened. How upon contact, the sense law consciousness, respective sense law consciousness just manifests, like the physics experiment. Upon contact means you on the switch, the light bulb lights up. The lighting up of the light bulb is like you develop that sense experience. You become conscious of what you see, or what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you tactily feel or think. Take for example, seeing. You become conscious of what you see. Then during that moment of consciousness, there is this what they call universal seven. Upon contact, simultaneously, perception comes in. Then when there is perception, through your accumulated memory, which is your brain, your experiences, and also your whatever knowledge, views, opinion, conditioning, especially conditioning, that end up as habitual tendency. You always do that. You react and stir to what you perceive through the senses, through your views, opinion, conditioning, and belief system. And when you do that, you actually stir your mind. You develop like and dislike, pleasant and unpleasant sensation. So what happens is, upon contact, feeling arises. Then due to your Sakaya deity, your greed, hatred, and delusion born of Sakaya deity, the ego, the personality, you attach, you cling. That's why, dependent on contact, feeling arises. Then when feeling arises, if there is no wisdom, then feeling will be conditioned into craving of like and dislike. That's how it happens. Then when the craving becomes very strong through delusion, it will condition grasping, which is the upadana khandhas. Yeah. So, contact is pasa. Then feeling is vedana. So pasa pacaya vedana. Vedana pacaya tanha. Tanha is craving. Then tanha pacaya upadana, which is grasping. Then after that, bhava is condition, becoming. You become that thing. Then from there, you act out of it, you take birth. As an angry person, violent person, or rapist, or whatever. And that's how suffering comes to be. How you actually entangle yourself through the karmic process, following the nature's law of dependent origination, paticca samuppada. So that's how it happened. But here it's not explained. Anyway, I just read through. Okay. He said, by contemplating sense perception as suffering, you contemplate whatever sensation, perception, or mind state you have as a form of suffering. That's why they didn't explain the paticca samuppada, etc. Then they straight away go to the theory. There are 3 kinds of suffering, 8 kinds of suffering, and multiple categories of suffering, referring to as the limitless suffering. So here, the 3 kinds of suffering are suffering upon suffering. Actually, it's not really suffering upon suffering. The translation is not correct. Under the Theravada tradition, the Pali word is dukkha dukkata. Yeah. So dukkha is suffering. Yeah. So dukkha dukkata is, they use the word suffering upon suffering. It's not really that sense, because this one is suffering within suffering, not upon suffering. Because dukkha is suffering. Yeah. That's why the Buddha used to say, when your body is sick, don't allow your mind also to be sick. Yeah. So dukkha dukkata means you already suffer, but mentally through your delusion, you grasp, you cling, you suffer mentally. So not only physically you suffer because of causal condition, mentally you grasp and cling, and that trigger of deeper suffering. So dukkha dukkata is like when you experience old age, sickness and death. Whatever that is born is of the nature to grow old, get sick and die. And that is the reality. That's why I say our physical body goes the way of nature. Then in the 5 daily contemplation, he asks us to contemplate. This physical body of ours is of the nature to grow old, get sick and die. For it has not gone beyond old age, sickness and death. Why? Where it makes of element only, no knowing. How can it be you? So these are elements within nature. And it goes the way of nature. Where everything that arises will decay. That's why there is birth followed by old age, sickness and death. And this process are nature's condition. Then when you attach and cling to the 5 aggregate of form and mind deludedly, thinking that this is real, this is you, and this is a permanent unchanging entity, then you deludedly grasp, cling and create the egoic mind, that atta, that trigger of the evil roots of greed, hatred and delusion. And these are evil roots of all evil, make you evil. That's how suffering comes to be. So this first type of suffering is very common. Then the other one here, they say, suffering caused by the loss of the source of joy. In the Theravada text, there is this what they call dukkha dukkata is the first one. The second one is parinama dukkata, I think. Then there is another one, I forgot already, there's another Pali words. So they always refer to these 3 types of suffering. So the second type, they always refer to as suffering due to change, because of impermanence. So suffering due to change. So here they use suffering caused by loss of source of joy. Means as the body go through old age, sickness and death, we become like afflicted, miserable, because we tend to cling, just like what you all discussed before we start, when my niece came in. Oh, it's so good to be young, huh? Those were the days. So when you reflect through memory, 往事只能回味, there is no more reality. The reality is, Hui Rong used the word what? 从前什么? 想当年啊, 想当年啊. So when you contemplate and cling, then you become miserable. Understand why? Last time I young, I full of energy, youthful. I can do a lot of things. I can travel, I can eat, I can go to late night, enjoy all the, what they call, nice moments. Especially when you have World Cup, football, and badminton, or whatever games. Then you can have late nights and all those things. Then you have party, all the sensual fun. But then, all this is when you are young, you have the energy, understand or not? You can be very active and full of energy. But most of the time, unless you're second generation kid, you don't have money, understand or not? You haven't come out and work yet. So life is like that. You cannot get the best of both worlds unless you know how to plan and you have your good karma. Then what happens is when you are young, you lack experience, you tend to make a lot of mistakes. and you tend to take a lot of what we call risks, because you don't understand the danger of life, and we in the name of adventurous, we like to do all sorts of funny things. So when you look back at life, that is the reality. When you're young, energetic, but don't have enough experience, don't have money, but you still want to do all those things. And sometimes youth, the way they go about life is actually to the experienced elderly or more elderly people, they say this is stupidity. Well, they, like you saw in the news, Marampit or something, the way they drive the motorbike, the way they speed, and they dare to do all sorts of dangerous stunts, because to them it's excitement, challenges and all those things. So we open up that page, it's very good. You pin it, can. So here is explained. Mental suffering due to clinging to the physical bodily suffering, which I explained just now, birth, old age, sickness and death, is dukkha dukkata. If you want to know the Mandarin, you can read it there also. Then the second one is sankhara dukkata. Just now I told you there is another one. It's sankhara dukkata. So this sankhara is your mind state. Okay? So mind state. So attachment to sankhara, that is holding on to your views, opinion, etc., which are rigid, cause suffering. So sankhara dukkata means whatever suffering that comes from clinging to all the sankhara activity. And what is sankhara? Everything that your brain or your mind can do. Means all your mental intention, views, opinion, conditioning, belief system, mind states, and also your whatever feeling and perception. These are the content of consciousness, and they are all sankhara. So this one actually cover everything, but they put viparinama dukkata, which is suffering due to change, or what I explained just now, unsatisfactoriness due to impermanence. So these three are the one taught in the Theravada tradition. But what happened is, after I developed the understanding and realization after 1989, I realized the fourth one, which is not taught in the text. These are very fine or subtle suffering that can be detected with mindfulness and wisdom. I put there, detected when your mindfulness and wisdom is very stable. So cultivator who can reach this stage is very near to enlightenment or liberation, which is very true. Yet during that time, which the Buddha actually explained under the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, this very fine suffering that lead to relinquishment, means you become wary of all this. It's like when that time I realized the suffering becomes so clear now, so like vivid now. Then that time, the mind that have the understanding and the sensitivity, you will know to think of anything is suffering. That thinking is suffering. The arising of the perception of what that sense perception is also suffering. Then the moment of feeling is also suffering, because it's a mind state. Then the moment of sankhara sanya activity, really suffering. That's why finally my nature realized, think also like that, don't think also like that. Because by then, the meaning of the word sabbe sankhara anicca, sabbe sankhara dukkha become very clear. All sankhara is impermanent. They come and go. No reality. As real it can be, it's only the moment. Moment to moment, life passes by. That is the only reality, the present moment. But how stable is the present moment? It's so transient. Split second is dead and gone. That's why all of Sankara is impermanent. And because it's impermanent, you cannot want things your way. Everything flows in accordance with nature's condition. The Panchaniyamas. So if you want things your way, you suffer. That's why all of Sankara activity, Sabbe Sankara, Dukkha. It becomes very clear. Then that time the mind will know. It will tell you through this wisdom. Think also like that, don't think also like that. You want to suffer? Think. You want to suffer? Go and do all these things. It becomes very clear. Then the mind, like on its own, relinquish or no. It like understand, doesn't need to think anymore, doesn't need to know anymore. Unless you need to help people live life or arise as a being to fulfill your whatever bodhisattva vow or duty. Apart from that, there is no need to use the mind. Where this mind, which is the mundane mind, is dependent originating, condition arising, cause of no reality. So the understanding becomes so clear. That's why after that I remember that wisdom, once stabilized and becomes so clear when the fine suffering is being detected, that's why I put there, you are very near to enlightenment. And once you reach that phase, your mind transforms. It will relinquish. It will not hold, it will not grasp, it will not cling on its own. Where it sees the suffering, the very fine, subtle suffering. That is what mundane mind is all about. But don't worry, where that phase will pass. Then after you go through that cessation, the realization of Nibbana, initially it's like a glimpse. Then later on, for a longer period. Then you develop many times until you become like very clear about the whole thing. Then you see clearly what the true mind and the dependent originating mundane mind, thinking mind is all about. They call it the Fan Sing. Fan Len the Sing means the mundane mind, where mundane people arise. So that one is full of sankhara, think a lot, heedless. So this fourth type of suffering, which is not mentioned in this commentary, is the one that cultivator of the way will go through, and they will develop the understanding and the realization. Okay, we go back to the notes. So now I can read through quickly. So the three kinds of suffering is already described. Here, not accurate. You can just skip and read our mind map that Sui actually pulled out just now. Then after that, go up further. Their wealth and their prestige may not last long. That one is their example. And they will suffer when it is gone. Then the suffering caused by ever-changing condition, this one also we have gone through, has nothing to do with the plight of poverty or the deterioration of wealth and prosperity. It's nothing out of the ordinary. Even though it is ordinary, this suffering occurs ceaselessly in the momentary fluctuation of our thought. See? Sankhara dukkata. And it is also a form of suffering. This explains the contemplation of feeling as suffering. They like to use it as suffering. But you need not go into that, because this second what they call foundation of mindfulness, which is mindfulness of feeling, the main intent It's for you to develop the understanding and the wisdom that you need to arise. So what is important is when you are mindful, at the moment of sense experience, that mindfulness or awareness will be able to see clearly how the paticca samuppada, the dwelling, dependent origination, happen. How upon contact, feeling arises. Then initially is every moment of sense experience, if there is ignorance, means before one become enlightened, avijja paccaya sankhara, dependent on ignorant delusion, you think, you create sankhara activity, and that one is very clear. That's why human beings, they think a lot before they become enlightened. They are hardly heedful, they are heedless. The heedless are as if dead. Heedlessness is the path to the dead. And those who are heedless, they think a lot, they worry a lot. Their sankhara is very active. They are hardly with the true mind, silent mind, pure awareness nature, to experience the tranquility and stillness of mind, to be at peace, to have the beautiful mind state that is completely tranquil and still. And that is without sankhara, without duality, without thought. Then how can there be suffering? There is no duality, nothing. So this understanding is more important. That at the moment of sense experience, when you keep on stirring your mind with like and dislike, pleasant and unpleasant sense experience based on your wrong views, conditioning and belief system, then what is happening? Because sensual desire and ill will, like and dislike, they are the first two parts of the mental hindrance. The five mental hindrances that hinder our mind from entering the meditative state of inner peace, inner calmness and inner awareness is sensual desire and ill will. So sensual desire and ill will, you keep on arising it, then how can you meditate? Where every moment you are creating sense experience that are detrimental to your meditative training. Where these are mental hindrances, it will hinder your mind from entering the meditative state of inner peace, inner calmness and inner awareness. So the moment you see, you stir and react to sense experience means you don't have the wisdom. You cannot be with the moment. You cannot be at peace with the reality. You want things your way. You got craving of like and dislike. That is more important than contemplating feeling as suffering. Feeling can be pure feeling. If there is wisdom, it need not be conditioned into suffering. Feeling is only suffering when you grasp and cling under the five aggregate of form and mind, like what the Buddha proclaimed under the final summary of the First Noble Truth. Yeah. It is upadana khandha, the grasping aggregate that I call suffering. The Buddha proclaimed it very clearly. So when you understand that, then you know what the commentary actually explained. They debate a lot, because the understanding is not there. Anyway, we go to the third one, which is citta nupassana. So citta is content of consciousness, mindfulness of the content of consciousness. And here the word contemplation is also not accurate, where it should be mindfulness. Yeah. When you are aware, mindful, you don't go and contemplate. Yeah. So, citta nupassana is mindfulness of citta, means the thought, the content of consciousness. So here, Hsuan use it, contemplate the mind as transitionary, means like transient, means come and go, come and go. But the main gist of Chittanupassana is not about this. It's to develop the mindfulness of the content of consciousness. Means you go beyond feeling, understand? You develop the ability to be mindful of the content of consciousness. Means your views, your opinion, your conditioning, your belief system, your memory. And all these are the content of consciousness. That's why in the sutta it says, when there is greed, you must be aware. When there is anger, hatred, jealousy, envy, you must be aware. When there is suffering, you must be aware. So whatever mind state that arises with the content of consciousness that go in, when the chitta is tranquil, you must be aware. What is trying to explain to the cultivator is, when you are mindful of the content of consciousness, you will develop wisdom. Where this content of consciousness are your so-called sankhara mind states. The activity of sankhara that stir and make the mind state emotional, whether pleasant, unpleasant, peaceful, agitated, violent, or whatever. So that one, when you are mindful, then you can actually develop the wisdom not to go back to your heedless way of living. That's why when you know how upon perception, you stir your mind and develop the fear, the anger, the hatred, the violence, the emotion, the insecurity. So all this, how does it arise? Well, these are mind states that are dependent, originating, condition arising, not intrinsic within you, understand? Anger was never you, fear was never you. But then how did it arise? Through your wrong perception. You stir your mind, you react, and you created that movement. Means you cannot see things as they are. You cannot accept the reality of what is. That's why if you don't see all this with mindfulness, you cannot know who are you, what are you, and how you function as a human being. How you become fearful, emotional, how you suffer, how you develop all this delusional activity and movement. These are more important than contemplating the mind as transient. What for? So when you see all this, when you understand all this, then you inquire with a clear mind. You accept this reality first at peace. Like the Buddha said, learn to see things as they are. The world is the world. People is just the way they are. Condition like that, things will be like that. If that is the reality, so what must you do? You must check, why did you still stir? Means you have not developed the wisdom to accept the reality of what is. Understand? Means you cannot see things as they are. Then you have to contemplate. How should I develop my right view to see things as they are so that I does not stir my mind? And then the answer came. I provide you all with the answer because I know the answer is very difficult to come by. As I say, you develop this understanding. The world is the world. People are just the way they are. The world is the world means condition like that set already, causes and condition. Things will go this way, cannot be otherwise. You want things your way, you suffer. That is the first reality. Then people are just the way they are means what? Angry people say angry things. Selfish people say selfish things. Deluded people do deluded things. So all these are the reality that manifest. Understand? No right, no wrong. They are just the way they are. So if I can accept them for what they are, then I don't develop the unnecessary anger, hatred, fear. Understand? When you perceive somebody violent, you do not fear anymore. Understand? Or something that strike like lightning, fear of the unknown, that fear arises. Why should it arise? These are nature's phenomena, understand? Conditions like that, things will be like that. And people are just the way they are. So, violent people, selfish people, whatever they do, no right, no wrong, but they are just the way they are. Because of that evil root, they manifest that type of mind state. And when you can see it clearly, then you realize, he is just the way he is. You don't have to react to what he do. Instead, you can develop the wisdom and the understanding, and like what Jesus said, forgive them for they know not what they are doing. Understand? Deluded people do deluded things. Selfish people do selfish things. So all these are the wisdom that can arise when you have developed the mindfulness to see all this clearly. Then you check the teaching. What did the Buddha say? To develop wisdom, you must learn how to see things as they are. Jnana dasana, direct knowledge and vision of the reality. And all this points towards the understanding. Seeing things as they are means no right, no wrong, no duality. Accept whatever arises. There are causes and conditions behind. And living beings are just the way they are. So with this understanding, you can live life. You need not stir. You don't have to become heedless anymore. Then you can be at peace. Whatever happens, at peace. That's why I say, whatever happens in life, don't get angry, don't develop the fear, don't become emotional, don't panic. Whatever arises, like the Buddha said, there are causes and conditions behind. And what are these causes and conditions? He already told us. All living beings, we are all born our karma, heir to our karma. Condition is upon what we are because of your karma. So definitely has a lot to do with your karma, understand? If it's karmic, then you tell yourself, these are reality. Because of what you have done in the past. So now causes and conditions manifest. You reap what you sow. You are the result of the past, what you are. So you accept that reality, then you have peace of mind. Means you don't get angry, you don't blame, you don't react, then you are at peace. Then within that peace, through acceptance, you develop clarity of mind to inquire what actually happened. Then the answer to it is, how can I resolve all this so-called problem or life situation amicably? Through what? Through wisdom, following what? Noble Eightfold Path. I must have the right view to accept the reality. There's a right view is most important. Then I arise the right thought, right speech, right action, so that I don't create karmic negativity. Then the four right effort to constantly purify. Then live life in accordance. That's why right living. Then you will also develop right mindfulness, leading to right samadhi. That's how the Noble Eightfold Path, the eighth path factor, develops the noble quality of an enlightened being. That's why they are called Noble Eightfold Path. Means there is only one path with 8 qualities. And these are the qualities of enlightened being. Otherwise they cannot have these noble values or noble qualities. That's why it's called the Noble Eightfold Path. It's one path, but eightfold. Understand? Embodiment of Noble Eightfold Path. And that is the meditation as taught by the Buddha. Without that, you are not an enlightened being. That's why I used to share with you all, whatever meditation you do, if it does not bring you back to the cultivation of the Noble Eightfold Path with this Noble Eightfold Path quality, then you are not an enlightened being. You don't have right view. Your action, speech and thought are so crude. How can you be an enlightened being? How can you be noble in any sense? No way. That's why the teaching is very profound, very powerful, and very, very beautiful, wonderful. Okay, so now we go back to the last part. Okay, the third part, I think that one we can ignore. Huh? Then number 4. So here again they put the word contemplation, which is wrong. It's mindfulness of Dhamma, Dhamma Nupassana. And Dhamma is not just phenomena. Dhamma is truth. The teachings of the Buddha, the essential Dhamma of the Buddha. And the core teaching is the essence of the Buddha's teaching, is the Four Noble Truth. So contemplation, here the word is wrong. It should be mindfulness of Dhamma. Then they like to emphasize as lacking independent reality. No, these are true. How can you say lacking independent reality? This translation is definitely not accurate. Then he said we should observe that all phenomena had no inherent independent. Forget about this. You look at the real 4 foundation of mindfulness under Dhamma Nupassana. There are 5 categories of practices. What are the 5 categories? First, mindfulness of the 5 mental hindrances. Understand or not? And these are very important. Why? Because these are mind states that hinders your mind from entering the meditative state. If you cannot see them, you cannot see with mindfulness that the essential desire and ill will, then you will create these 2 mental hindrances almost every day, every moment. Every moment of sense experience, you stir, you react, until it becomes habitual tendency. Understand or not? That is heedless living. How can you live life like that? So this one definitely is the category of Dhamma, which is the 5 mental hindrances. Nothing to do with transient, inherent, and all. Forget about those things. You go into the actual teaching, the sutta. Then after that, the second one, most important one, is mindfulness of the 5 aggregate of form and mind. But this is the basis of who we are, what we are. And in the sutta, it's explained very clearly under this 5 category of practices. And it is very profound, the teaching, and very, very detailed and very precise, pointing out clearly. And the third category is mindfulness of the 6 internal sense bases and 6 external sense bases, like what I explained just now. If you develop this awareness-based meditation, you will see clearly the 18 sense drive. The 6 internal sense bases, if you maintain awareness, mindfulness, and stay within, you will see it clearly how the sense data come in and how the mind make contact and how it trigger off the respective sense door consciousness and how the content of consciousness went in, how you react and stir, and how the paticca samuppada move. All this you will see clearly. That's why the third category of Dhamma Nupassana is very powerful. Mindfulness of the 6 internal sense bases and 6 external sense bases, leading to all the wisdom. Then the 4th one is you will develop mindfulness of the 7 factors of enlightenment, which means you are on the right path. If you are not on the right path, not cultivating correctly, the factors of enlightenment, the 7 factors of enlightenment cannot arise. When you can be mindful of the 7 factors of enlightenment means you know you are on the right path. You have developed the right training and the wisdom. So the first factor of enlightenment is what? Sati, mindfulness. Without mindfulness, you cannot investigate the Dhamma. The second factor of enlightenment cannot be there. And you cannot investigate the Dhamma. You cannot arise the virya. The virya is the spiritual zeal or tenacity to go this way. When you investigate the Dhamma and it stand up to investigation, then your faith becomes unshakable. That's why faith will condition virya to drive you to cultivate. Then when you cultivate correctly, your mindfulness develop and you will experience piti. Piti is a spiritual joy, spiritual calmness, a type of peace of mind, meditative peace that arises through mindfulness training. Then when you are able to refine this piti until they become very, very quiet, very peaceful, very tranquil, then the mind becomes very quiet, like very still, very peaceful, tranquil. And that is passaddhi, the fifth factor of enlightenment. And passaddhi is tranquility of mind, stillness of mind. That is your true mind. When you are able to be in that state of tranquility and stillness, hardly any thought, movement or activity, no sankhara. That is passaddhi. That is the true mind. That's why from passaddhi, the fifth factor enlightenment, you will progress very fast after that. Then when you realize that, you will realize you have two minds. One is the true mind in the state of tranquility and stillness, passaddhi, pure awareness nature, stable. Then from there, you develop what we call samadhi, which is the sixth factor of enlightenment. Samadhi means once you are tranquil and peaceful, once passaddhi is there, your mind becomes like very stable. The pure awareness nature becomes very stable. That's why there is no movement already. You remember I told you, relax body and mind, then maintain awareness, stabilize it. Stabilizing it is to realize passaddhi. Once passaddhi is realized, stabilized already, then this mind develops stability and become unwavering and collected. And that is what the sixth factor of enlightenment, samadhi, is. So samadhi is a free mind, collected and unwavering, not a conditioned state, not what people used to explain using concentration, samatha. Samatha is not samadhi. Samadhi and samatha are different. Samatha is one-pointedness, absorption, condition arising mind state that is developed through focusing, concentration and deep absorption. They enter apana samadhi. So once the sixth enlightenment factor of samadhi developed, then what happens is, as a free mind in the midst of life, when you encounter a situation, when sense experience arises, what happens? Where the mind is collected and unwavering in it. That's why it does not stir, understand? Then it can see things as they are. Then it can understand. He is just the way he is. Where the mind doesn't stir anymore. Then the wisdom that I have given you all, you can put it into practice. Very easy. They are just the way they are. It will prompt you. It's like yoniso manasikara. The world is the world. Condition like that, things will be like that. Only mighty nature rolling by. As real as it can be, is only within the moment. So transient. Split second is day and gone split. No reality. He know you, he know me. All this become very clear. That's how with samadhi you develop wisdom. Then when wisdom arises, the last factor of enlightenment, which is equanimity, means the mind that is equanimous, does not react, stir and waver within life. Where that one is born of wisdom. So that type of mind, with that type of wisdom, even if you get old, going through that decay and dying phase, you're very weak physically or whatever, but your wisdom protects you. The equanimous mind is always there. That one will not suffer. That one will not die with delusion. That one, no doubt, no fear, nothing. That's why the seven factor of enlightenment, when they arise, they are very powerful. So after the 4, which is mindfulness of the 7 factor enlightenment, then you know you're on the right path. You keep on seeing these 7 factors of enlightenment arising. That's why the Buddha says, this Dhamma, which is the unconditioned Dhamma, beyond thought, beyond mind, can only be realized by the wise, each for themselves. That's why it's Pacetang. Then after that, the last category of the Dhammanupassana is mindfulness of the 4 Noble Truths and its 3 turning. And that one is where the Noble Eightfold Path, everything is taught there. So this is how the 4 foundation of mindfulness is to be developed as understanding. Okay, so we have to go back already, almost 10 o'clock already. Yeah. Okay, so we end there. I mark this one first. Okay. Okay, we come back to the second session. So today you all don't have to worry. Brother Song want to share. Pass the mic to you. Okay.
Brother Teo, Mr. Steele, all Karamita 晚上好。很多东西要讲 Brother Teo。今天晚上的 talk very good, but 我不讲今天晚上先，我先讲 last week。
OK， 可以。OK，
last week 的当我在 after 我 sharing 的时候，then Brother 你在做 explanation 的时候，忽然间后面的这个Sakyamuni 的这个 statue， 它很像 draw 我，它 bring 我的 attention 过去。然后我只是看住他的那个头罢了，然后我 suddenly 发现到他的每一个 part， 我是一个 part 一个 part 的去看，我 suddenly 看到他的嘴巴怎么这样 total relaxed 的，
对，
然后我再看他的眼睛也是 total relaxed 的，所以我就看他的每一个 part， like 怎么我们从来没有看过，好像我从来没有看过这个，
以前你没有注意到，对，因为 they are serene。facial expression. In fact, the whole body is relaxed, completely relaxed, and you can see one. Because I remember when I took refuge in Hsuan, at that time, his facial everything is completely relaxed. That time I remember 1980, around 89. I saw him. He was giving the talk or the thing. Then I realized, no wonder he can have that type of cultivation, where he really know how to relax. And of course, different people, different cultivator, different teacher, they have their unique character within. So everyone is different, but the key feature is there. That's why you can see when you are mindful, when you are aware, when your wisdom has developed, you can sense them. Yeah, good. Continue.
给我就一直来，我只是看住他的那个头罢了。对，但他的每一个的那个part 哦，他的眼睛、他的鼻子、他的嘴巴，那我很像我从来没有，我很像完全没有看过这个 statue 这样。来，我很 amazed 他的每一个 part 都是在那个 total relax 里面。然后我讲哇，我想怎么今天这个 statue total relax total silent 这样庄严，然后我就一直看着他。但忽然间就慢慢的我的这个 heart 这里它就 vibrating， 我就感觉到我很像可以 feel 到这个 statue 这样子，有一种那种相应的感觉，我就一直在这看，等慢慢的就来到了这个左手边，很 strong 的vibration， 它就很像那个我们在煮那个水，它在滚是没有声音，但是它很 strong 的，就在左边这里一直这样子的 vibrating
activate 里面
so 然后就 after that 就完了，这个就是一个过程这样子，然后就第二天吃饭的时候，然后就 Alicia 的朋友来来找他吃饭，然后 Alicia 就叫我一起去，然后我就坐在他们的车，就 on the way 要去 restaurant，我坐在车里面的时候，他们讲话的时候，哇 ，so clear 哦，那个声音哦是在这一边，
对，
我是我是听到那个他们讲话的那个vibration，整个是来到这个 heart 这里，我才觉得，诶，怎么？我会来这边的
，listening from the heart already, no longer from the brain。
然后我就去 observe 我自己，我才发现到我的 heart 这边它是什么都没有，只是这样子对，空的。
Because once activated 这个 become like hollow one then you start to listen from here on you don't listen from the brain and memory already. That's why stay at the heart. That is the meaning. But before the wisdom model thing arise, before you detect the gateway and activate, very difficult to stay at the heart. Very difficult because you must go up there to the memory. Without memory, you cannot act. A lot of things you like very alien to you. So this one is very good. What he go through. You continue. That's all.
然后我就在 silent 里面去 aware 去 observe 他，我又在他们一直 continue 讲话，那个声音就一直的从这个heart 这里这样进来，然后我就往上看，我讲周末我就看上去的时候，我的头上面也是空的，没有 sankara， 没有 perception， 什么都没有。
因为 that movement is already no longer like last time, Hitler's and all those things gone. So later on here also, the wisdom energy, when you develop the transformation here until very strong, the mundane mind will collapse. Yeah. And this one is a sign that is going to happen soon. Otherwise it won't be like that. Because what is happening with cultivation is, as the Buddha said, this type of Dhamma is pacetang, can be realized by the wise each for themselves. Cultivator will know themselves. That's why when he explained, when I can develop the understanding, where I done it long time ago before, then I can advise him. And this is really happening. That's why this type of reporting, you cannot lie on. You can use the same word as what he used, but you don't have means you don't have one. You cannot describe the thing. The one that can describe the thing is the one that have gone through one. That's why this Dhamma can only be realized by the wise each for themselves. That's why they are not afraid that you copy them. That's why I wrote all this book for free distribution. How much can you learn is up to you. Because this is not something you can copy. You cannot. You can read exactly the same, but you cannot explain on. You cannot develop that. But people who don't go through the cultivation and develop the transformation cannot understand the word on. That is the uniqueness of this teaching. Very good. Continue.
然后我就 continue 在车上里面，我就看到上面空，这边也空。Actually 你连 form and mind 也没有，就是只是一个 being 这样子，整个的这样，只是
animate into what it is。
对，只是这样子的，就在就这样子，就静静的，就这样子的去 aware，去那个声音这样进来。然后过后，我就把我的眼睛看去外面那个看从车里面看去外面马路旁边，它变成pure seeing 了
，direct seeing，
变成 direct seeing，就是
没有那个sankara在里面摇动了，做那个来乱想乱 react monster excite 没有了的。清清楚楚的 is like specific phenomena awareness. Everything is just the way it is, so clear. That's why the real cultivation is so different. It's not what people think. Very good.
我的那个心就那个车跟着走，我的心就这样子跟着这样子，就这样子，你就像你没有去 perceive，
没有的没有的，
一直这样子看住这样子那个 view。
It's a specific phenomena awareness. Your awareness nature and the phenomenon more as one. 什么都没有的。You want to know, you can know. You want to arise a thought, you can. Otherwise, it's just the way it is, seeing things as they are. That is the direct seeing, the true mind seeing. Very good.
就一直这样子的，就到了那个 restaurant then 我第二天吃早餐的时候，我才 recall 到，昨天吃饭的时候，好像有 something happening 啊，
你会知道，你会 develop the understanding。
然后我就想，这 something happening， 但我又不懂是什么，然后我就去 recall，做 mindfulness 你一 recall 的时候对，他那个 view 就跑出来，他的 view 一出来，他就让我看到我在车上看外面的那个 view 的时候，当他的那个 incident 我一 recall 他一 appear 出来的时候，我一看到那个树那个 water 外面的那个景象，我就想，这不是 pure seeing direct seeing
没有 word 没有 concept 什么都没有的 just like that。那时候我记得89的在 saw the moving car, the whole thing move like there is no one seeing, no observer, but just the phenomena and the awareness move as one. Then I realized everything is just like that. The whole TV also, all the lighting, the pixel, the color, the sound, the way, move very fast. Can be like lightning speed and all that, but no movement inside. Inside empty. Then want to know? Can know. Don't want to know? Just the way things are. Everything just that phenomena movement, that very fast moving type of what they call phenomena within nature. And you can experience all those within the whole of existence, not only within your vicinity, your neighborhood, or within your physical body, the whole of the existence. That's why the fifth patriarch, when he told Huining about the nature, Huining keep on mentioning how amazing that this nature is complete by itself. How amazing that all Dhamma arise from this nature. The being that do the cultivation will suddenly understand. That's why the whole thing that manifests is from that nature. The pure awareness nature. From there, from the source, the first to come out is this. Then from this, the mundane creation arises. That's why you do the cultivation correctly, you will understand all this, and you become very different. And it will transform you completely. The whole awakening is not a knowledge or a concept or idea that people through thinking can understand. So these are real understanding that trigger of true awakening through the direct seeing from that nature. That nature, the pure awareness nature, is very powerful. And that one, you also need the internal movement, the transformation, like what he explained. You see, this seeing of the image of what different people, they approach it differently. But what is important is, like last time I used to tell you, when I see the microphone or the singer, we all see with the concept, understand? Microphone, what is there to see, understand? But when you have the direct seeing that time, you really see the whole of this without word. Then everything is like very pristine, very beautiful. And it's like, how come last time I never see before? Like I told you after my Monday, my color, for 5-6 days, I was amazed. How come all this? Nothing has changed. But now I see them all very clear. That's why I come out with the phrase, truth is everywhere in the midst of nature and existence and life. Why can't you see? For those who see, they always see the characteristics of nature. Everything within nature, existence and creation is so vivid, so clear, so beautiful. That's why the Dhamma, which is Pacetang, is very, very unique. And this is the teaching that the world don't have, except Sakyamuni Buddha and all the Samasa Buddha. And the very penetrative teaching can only be realized by the nature within. It's not through the thought process and the mind. Very good. Okay, continue.
我觉得这一次我的 direct seeing 我觉得是很 beautiful.
More stable.
对，我以前我只是一个 moment 一个 moment。The moment 我一看到以前，哇，那个 thought 很快的就出来。把这一次我就只是静静的这样子看着它。And then even though that day 我吃了饭回去，我也没有去，也没有那个 doubt， 也没有那个 perception 要去 recall until the next day， 我才发现到，我昨天很像 something different， 我就觉得，这一次真的是很不一样，整个的那个process 啊，
它的过程啊，
对啊，这个它就开始比较 stable 了，然后那些礼拜我就听Sis Alicia 他们的 sharing， 也讲
的很好，
对，然后
那个 Alicia very good， he went to this。Hsuan. Homage. The five color pond. Uchai Hua. What she experienced was very phenomenal and beautiful. But and she reported she still didn't know what it is. She said the finger or like energy stuck into it, tingling sensation or something. But actually, it's the great being's nature there, and together with the affinity, then it actually helped her. Then when she went back to the hotel, because after a long day of walking and all those things, she was so tired. Every time you're very tired is the best. Then she decided to lie down and rest, meditate. That movement started already, because the thing started to activate. Then the heartbeat, everything, it was like, she used the word to describe, it was pounding like you want to jump out of the heart, so strong. Then I said, this is what will happen, because initially, like I used to tell song, when you develop the ability to connect and to develop all this, I still remember after 1989, after my Monday mind collapse, the energy that come from all these great beings and the whatever beings that have affinity with your nature and the nature's energy, when they come, they are very strong, way beyond what I can take at that time. So because of that, I need to slow down. Then I also told him, you will go and look for food, because you need a lot of energy to transfer. And during that time, it's the spiritual trip that you go, that you receive all this. And initially, she draw from others. But later on, when all this stabilize, you will know why you need to go. Then people draw from you. Other beings cultivated, they draw from you. Like now, you're Kayamita. Every time you come to the class, you go retreat, or you will draw from my nature. And this nature very funny one. It not like a reservoir. After you draw the reservoir, water less and less. No. This one is, the more you draw, the more powerful it is. It's the reverse one. That's why this one just give and give and give. It's like nature. Nature give and give and give. Nature never complain. Like my teacher Ajahn Yantra used to share with me in the early day. He said the great loving kindness of nature. Nature just give and give and give. Nature never take. The meaning is, the air we breathe come from nature. The water that sustain our life come from nature. The food, everything come from nature. Give and give and give. Then whatever that is within nature is actually very pure. But what did the living being, not only human being, give back to nature in return? All our excretion, our whatever byproduct, all the dirty thing, the filth. Then through consciousness, we develop the negativity of thought. That's why we pollute the consciousness. We cause what they call the totality of consciousness to be like affected. So all this is what you will understand through delusion, through avijja, through sakkaya ditthi. Living being actually manifests all this, and nature need to, through patient endurance, allow nature to slowly purify and develop recovery. And you look at nature, you will know, after a lot of pollution, everything, what happens is nature's disaster will manifest because of the karmic energy, everything. Then you will have all this destruction. Then when most of the human life or living beings' life is all dead, then nature recover, understand? Nature heal itself. We are no more negative thought and all those things. So through cultivation, you will know that nature is very beautiful, but the thought which have avijja, ignorance, can create havoc. That's why civilization, the rise and fall of civilization and all those things, they come about through the karmic process. So all these are very beautiful. You better continue.
Brother， 你有 mention 到是讲说那个头上会很多那个 sensation 会出来。
对。
然后我才知道，因为我这2个礼拜，哇，我头很痒。Initially 我就以为我的头很肮脏，等我去洗头，哇，我抓到我很用力啊。过后还是很痒。然后我想maybe 我是我的头皮很干。
不是。
那天礼拜天我一听 Bird 你一讲，我才知道，哇 ，every day 他那个头顶上面很多那种 sensation 小粒这样子很痒哦。
Yes, it will make you sensitive. It will transform your brain and all those things. Then later on, this one is just for a while. But there is a type of what they call secretion. Like I told you last time, the hand, all those things. Like there is a layer of very soothing, fine, like not oily one, but it's very soothing one. And you feel, you like rub against it. Very nice one. Like those, what you call, I don't know how, it got certain type of facial liquid or what, after you wash, you feel very clean and very, like, very silky, and that layer of oil, it can come out, then naturally your body has this type of thing, then it like that secretion that come out actually is to help you. Then initially I remember a lot of your so-called whatever illness or what, they like heal on. Where the pure energy will heal you and all that. Then when it transforms that time, you will know inside the brain a lot of things will happen. A lot of things will happen. Then the process that happen, that cultivator will go through, is a very long process. That's why now you look back since 89, 36 years already, ever since it happened. And this 36 years, a lot of things happened. That's why I used to tell those Kayamita at the retreat who has developed some of the understanding. I say, what my nature have gone through and developed the understanding is so like extensive, And what I have shared with you is like what the Buddha said, a handful of leaf. I say, unless Kayamita, who has progressed and developed the understanding, share and explain, then I can, through that condition, explain to you all, that all this will be recorded and benefit a lot of future cultivator of the way of Kayamita. Very good. Continue. Yeah.
我像我对我现在在做 reporting 的时候，哇，我这边里面很痒，哇，里面好很。
不用紧的 ，let it be，也是短期的，after a while it will clear，
就觉得最近的听了那个 Dharma 的 understanding，完全不一样。
不一样了啦，就像 yes, you can develop the more penetrative understanding already because you yourself gone through some of the transformation. That's why before you reach that level of cultivation, you may not know what I explain or what I share. What I share is for all level. So how much you can receive depend on your cultivation, your transformation at that time. And this will continue to happen for quite a while.
所以有时候我在听那些 short video 的时候，我听的时候，我的 understanding 又不一样了，
不一样了。
然后我会 input 我的 understanding，
你自己的 understanding and it will continue to evolve this way on. That's why I use the word wisdom is unending. You cannot say you have completed all the understanding of wisdom. Wisdom is unending. Every civilization is different. Every living being you encounter is different. Every situation is so different. That's why it will continue to evolve. That's why this Bodhisattva way is very extensive. Very, very extensive. And it will continue for eternity. And this is what perfection is all about. After you have gone through the extensive training and cultivation and exposure, then that stability of all this accumulated cultivation and perfection and wisdom developed, like the Sammasambuddha's great virtue, the 10 perfection will be perfected. And when it's perfected, it's like the nature's law take over. And your nature becomes the Sammasambuddha's nature. And that nature is very different. That one is omniscient. It can know past, present, and future, the 3 periods of time, or it can see, it can understand. So that one is another level, which is very much more developed and perfected than the normal, even great beings. So all these are the process that can occur or manifest. Good? Continue.
来，就很像今天 Bro 你的这个 Dhamma Sharing， 哇 ，so beautiful，
很好
，so much teaching，so much 的那个 Dharma 在里面。我刚才在听的时候，我说哇，每个 part 都要去 cultivate， 都要去 understand， 它是就真的是不大 Dharma， 它是一个很完整的一个
very precise， 对 ，and very complete，
对，它很 complete 的一个。今天 Bro 你就很像在做一个 revision 的把这整个的这个cultivation， 这整个的 Dharma 做一个 summary 的这个 sharing， 对，哇，很多。刚才我在听的时候，我讲哇，每个 part 都是 so beautiful， 我讲哇，真的要再回去听，你要去听，我们要去听它的每个 part， 每个 part 都是一个 cultivation， 要去做的。要去 cultivate 的，一个 part 来那个8个 reality 里面那个那个 daily 的 contemplations， 那个acceptance，even 都在那个4 mindfulness 里面的那个每一个 part， 的那个每一个 part 里面的那个 cultivation， 对，很多的那个cultivation 全部都是在里面。以前我觉得你听你不觉得怎样？今天我听的时候讲，哇
，When you have the understanding， 哇 ，the beauty of the sharing can come out, and you develop a lot of joy. That's why his internal can move and can transform. Because here also the great beings' energy are there. Then our collective consciousness is also there, and there are a lot of Dhamma protectors and beings. So all this can actually help. That's why your faith is very important. When you have the faith, without you knowing, you actually transform and you change. You look at Waifan and Chan, they only here 6 months now. The amount they receive and learn is fantastic, but give them time. Once they develop because their faith is very strong. Once they develop the cultivation, the stability of mindfulness, they will progress very fast. Then they start to understand a lot of things. That's why this teaching is very, very powerful and very penetrative. How? Continue.
OK， 我在这里，我要谢谢Great Beings 的 nature 的guidance protections
and
blessings。当我上个礼拜 experience 的那个就是我可以 feel 到它，然后它的那个我好像跟它相应的时候，就让我想起我2年前在 Bodh Gaya， 我在那个 Mahabodhi Temple。pay respect to 那个 Sakyamuni 的时候，哇，那个它的那个 nature 的我可以 receive 到那个它的那个 energy。上个礼拜的那种感觉，又很像是它的一种 blessing 这样子。因为当我一直在看着它的时候，这个 statue， 我感觉到我很像跟他2个人在相应。对对，而且我很像我可以感觉到这个 statue 里面的那个energy 这样子。然后我一直慢慢看的时候，它突然间就整个哇，就很像整个就 activate 了。就真的是哇，这种佛菩萨们他们的那种blessing， 他们的那种 nature 的，它真的是无时无刻的都是在
radiate
for
the cultivator of the way。
所以很感动然后还有就是我也要谢谢 Baradio 你的 teaching。Baradio 你的这个你的这个 sharing， 你的这个 Dharma 的这个 sharing 真的是 benefit 尤其是我来讲真的是很多。我真的是
a lot of cultivator will benefit. Those who are on the correct path doing awareness-based meditation, they will benefit. But once they listen, they know this one you cannot find. Then the pointer, the guardian, you cannot find on actually. Not many people can teach. You can hardly find a teacher that can teach until this understanding.
然后我最近这几个礼拜都一直有在做 sharing。我是希望我的 sharing 能够让大家 build out 这个 faith， 然后更 diligent 的去 cultivate。以前我来的时候我也是什么都不会。我来的时候我比大家还要更糟糕。因为我2008年来了1个月，我就 lost 了5年。我2013年才回来。
Then for 6 years, he said he cannot understand. After that only he start to connect. After he went to Wat Macam.
所以我也是像是以前从什么都不懂，然后 step by step， 然后跟着 Baradio 你的 sharing， 你的 teaching， 然后很有 faith 的就一直这样子的去一直 repeating 的在听。repeating 的听是非常的重要，一直要然后除了听了以外，我们还要去 contemplate， 要去 reflect 它。那么你的这个 understanding 才会慢慢的 stabilize。然后最后还要多做 sharing。OK。
That one very important. Sadhu. That one very important. But the more you share, the more your nature shine forth. Actually. 可以啊。给你。
给 Baradio Mrs. Hsuan Actually 真的 Baradio 这里我每一天来上课我没有本事真正的坐在这里听 Baradio 讲课，因为那个 energy 一直 activate 我的里面。对，他一直在那边。现在他的 activation 是 like 很 subtle， 一点点。但是他的 movement 你可以感觉到很清楚。
对，
所以我在这里跟很多感恩比他讲，一定要多来上课，多做分享，感恩阿弥陀佛。
Because her nature also stabilizes a lot. Otherwise she cannot have that clarity and able to do so many things. Okay, we should rejoice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, we can share merit, transfer merit, then we end. Akasata cha bhumata devanaga mahindika punyang tang anamoditwa chirang rakantu lokasasana itta ota jamehi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo devo satu kalina sasa sampati hetu cha Vito bhavatu loko cha raja bhavatu dhammiko imina punyang kamina mami bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yawa nivana patiya sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, you all can now mindfully pay respect to Lord Buddha, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, and all the worthy ones. Then we end. Sadhu.